So what we're going to do is swap out these. Same on the other side, because the rubber has started to perish. It's pretty difficult to see, but when I get this off and put the comparison with a brand new one, you'll notice. And also, right in there, you can just see this cowl. There is a massive gap right there. Oops. Basically, it's been forced when they put it back on, and yeah, it has not been put back on correctly. Okay, so for this, no tools required. All we need to do is get in underneath here and pull towards us. Just click, 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 and there we have it. Yeah, you can see that this one's being butchered a little bit. See that there? It's got some filler in it. These little things, take these seals off. You can see at the top we've used some mastic or something just to try and get it to stick down. Terrible job, really. So before we take the wipers off, as we are removing the entire wiper arm, both sides, what we need to do is ensure that the wipers go back in exactly the same place, otherwise they'll be sweeping on the wrong area of the screen, they may come off, they'll impinge on something. As you can see down here, it's pretty tight, about ½ inch, centimetre and a half from the cowling. So the easiest way of doing that is with our trusty masking tip. Use our small pick, put it in there, just to get an edge, and then just use the back of the pick, the blunt side, against the rubber till you can just take it out with your fingers. See? So for this task we need our 6-sided socket. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. It is 13mm. I'm using a long socket, as you can see. You can use a short one, it doesn't matter. Just put a small extension on, and then with your ratchet, place it on. And the last thing we want to do, as you can see, this arm is moving, so we need to support the arm. Use with your palm of your hand over the head of the socket and turn, and you'll see that came off very, very simply. Get our amazing nuts off penetrating fluid, and just a little spray like that will go a long, long way to helping us remove this arm. With a centre punch in the middle, be nice and centre, right down, centered in the middle, because we don't want to damage the thread. That genuinely is the last thing we want. And now, pull, pull, pull. There we go. Hands are a bit slippy with the release oil. I'll need a ratchet. There we are. Remember, we're tightening up. Oh, just make sure that it hasn't dropped off. And that's us. We are free. Hi, here's one I prepared earlier in all its resplendent glory. As Land Rover LR4s are sold internationally, the centre wiper hole is that one. That's always the same. UK models, Australian models, South African and Japanese, and a couple of other small, Thailand as well actually, outlying islands, would have the other one coming here because the driver sits on the right hand side, remember. But ours is on this side here. If we look, you can see our rubber is nice and flexible. The same with where our wiper arm goes. Also, we have brand new retaining clips with the, see that there? Little rubber grommet. These retaining clips go in the corresponding holes in the bottom of the windscreen. Also, we have new foam. just to stop vibration at the ends. So let me just place this down. So we're going to use my friend petroleum jelly for a little bit of lubrication for the wing. On the spline as well, not on the thread. Clean our fingers, because nobody likes sticky fingers, right? Cowl up. Last one. 8. Next up, could put on our trim rubber seal all the way around. Trick here. Remember, the seal goes over the edge of the cowl. You start from one side and then go to the other side and then finish up somewhere in the middle. You'll know if you've overstretched it, which is easy to do with rubber seals. So here's our new right hand side trim piece, beautiful matte black plastic. You can see here we have new clips, Land Rover clips. It costs a lot more than the other ones, so you don't need to buy a set. I think these are like 25 bucks on their own. Also the foam's brand new, so we know that we're not going to lose anything. Right, as before, place it on, cover it up, line up our holes. There's one at the very top that they filled in. Rat bags. That's why we've got a problem. So that there has no corresponding hole here. They filled it in with sealant. So we're going to have to cut that out. Thank you. Thank you very much, windshield guy. Thank you for doing a lousy job. That is a sign of a true professional. They use blue tape to cover a hole and to fill in the gap so you don't get wet. Grey clips. These ones are not the same. These ones are very, very different. Look. And then this type here, it's a little tab on the bottom so it can't rotate. Has quite a thick washer. This one's incredibly thin. There's an original one, and the same at the top. But the more interesting thing is this here. Little key, and you can see all we've got is a plus sign there, so they snapped it off. But wait there. Same as there, same as here. New rubber. This one, same as its friend, soaking wet. Because I washed it yesterday. But the main thing is the difference between these. So if we look down there, you can see that one. If you look down this one, you can see it straight up. These get a memory, especially in the California heat, they get baked. So what we're going to do when we put the new one in, we should have a nice tight fit to our windscreen, and that will stop our whistling noise. Let's fit it. Get our new one, nice and clean. Let's make sure our lip's good. There's no debris there. Same with our windscreen. Then what we need to do is offer it up. Make sure all the clips line up, especially the black ones at the top and at the very bottom, because those do not move. And then we're done. Tight, like a tiger. I don't know if you can see this, but I am having to rock the entire car to get this one on. Okay, obviously the windscreen is just ever so slightly, and we're talking maybe a mil too high on this side, but it's a lot better than it was. Water, when you're on the freeway, on the motorway, will run down here, hit this foam block, and then go down. There's a little drain in the back of there. Some things they did were really smart. There's a drain in there, and that will just run down and out to the ground. But if you have this here, it stops it running behind here and then getting driven up into there and then back in, somehow finding its way into our passenger compartment. Remember, water's incredibly lazy. It'll go on the easiest route it possibly can. So that's why that is there, if you want to wonder, and that's why it's very important. So remember, before putting your blades on the screen, you've had them off, give it a bit of a wipe. Also, wipe off our spline. We use release oil, remember? So we place on our window wiper arm onto the spline, pushed here. Just leave a little bit of pressure there because you got the spring force of this. You just need to make sure that our spline is correct and our wiper blade lines up with our tape, which it does. Keep pushing here because our spring force will try and force it off. Get our nut. Couple of turns by hand just to make sure you're on the thread. Last thing you want to do is cross thread this. If you do, then you are in a whole world of trouble. As we mentioned earlier, knurled part. That's the bit that you hold. Now, look how much force I'm putting on this. Not much at all. And that is all you need. Job done. Forget our little plastic covers. Here we are, these two. One there. That sound is the mechanism. Remember, it was floating a little. And then our friend on the other one. Okay, so we finished our job. We've replaced our wipers. We've replaced our left hand A-pillar trim, our right hand A-pillar trim, and our cowl. This car is getting back into shape. Now what we need to do is take it for a drive and see if the annoying whistle is gone. I really hope it has, because if it hasn't, I'm going to be in trouble with the boss. She will want to know why.